Let's do a little matchmaking.
Yeah, okay, cool.
And we're not millionaire matchmakers, but we're football matchmakers who actually will be millionaires.
I'm the Pete Davidson of flirting, okay?
He seems very good at it, right?
I mean, gosh.
Saturday Night Live guy, Ariana Grande, right?
Right.
They're no longer together, and now
moves to Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah, that's a good run.
I mean, kind of a good run. And then I'm enjoying like some of like the pictures we're seeing on social media, like
they
one at the
become
hockey
memes.
game, right?
Right, because he and Kate Beckinsale were making out,
right,
at the game.
And then there was who was the guy that was sitting next to him?
I don't know, friend.
I think he's an actor.
He's another actor,
like that, right?
Yeah.
But why do you even say yes to going to that hockey game with those two? Like, why even? You know, you're going to be the third wheel in that one there, and there he is. Like, my favorite meme out there has been the one where. Kate Beckinsale's the Arizona Cardinals.
Right.
The guy who's being ignored is Josh Rosen, and then Kate Beckinsale is Kyler Murray.
Pete Davidson, Pete Davidson's Kyler Murray and Kate Beckinsale.
Oh yeah,
Cardinals.
exactly right.
Yeah.
Thank you for straightening that out. I played football. I'm not always that smart. All right.
Yeah, there's some good memes out there. So yeah, Pete Davidson very good at flirting, but we're gonna help.
Yeah.
This is what we do.
Good.
We're gonna match some free agents up.
Cool.
With some teams, and we're gonna make a match made in heaven that we think would be a match made in heaven. I don't know if they're gonna become reality, but we think they should become reality.
Yeah, well, there's like some reality twist here, but also just things we would like to see, and that's where we're gonna have fun. So
why don't you go?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, go first.
All right, the first one, like one of the big free agents out there that did not get franchise tagged, but people put this guy in the class of, Jadeveon Clowney, Frank Clark, who both got franchised by the Houston Texans, the Seattle Seahawks. Trey Flowers, right?
Yeah.
Trey Flowers is one of those guys where we don't know a whole lot about because, first of all, New England doesn't let you know about any of their players in general. They don't let their players wax poetically about other players on the roster. It's all part of the master scheme of Bill Belichick keeping free agents' prices down, right? If you're in New England and you start talking about the team in general on a press conference one day and you start talking about, this guy's playing good and that play, like, you will get called out in the team meeting the next day. Like, Bill Belichick is famous for going, like, who anointed you spokesman of the team?
You go, we have to cut him now. You talked him up too much, and now we have to cut him.
Just worry about your job. Yeah. So that's why you never hear about New England players in this shape, form, or fashion or whatever it is. But Trey Flowers, I want to see him go to the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins have a need at the defensive line position. Their new head coach just came from New England, right? Brian Flores. I think Trey Flowers, you always hear about coaches wanting to instill the new culture in a team or an organization. Well, I think that would start getting the New England way to catch on right away in Miami. Plus, it's always fun, at least for me, I think, to see guys have to go against their ex-teams and to be two times, right, in the division. That would add a little extra spice to the matchup altogether. Trey Flowers would probably be bitter at New England for not paying him the money he wants. They're going to want to win because they're rivals with New England, as is in Miami. And he's got a head coach who's going to want to teach, the guy who taught him everything. He's going to want to try to win football games that way, too. So that's one that jumps out to me right off the bat.
Outstanding player. I just always worried about any player that Bill Belichick doesn't want becoming a pumpkin. Yeah. You just always worry about that.
No doubt. You wonder if it's the system, the way they coach, those things. That's totally a justifiable question.
I got one. Earl Thomas.
Oh, I like it.
Very contentious last year with the holdout and the injury and the unfortunate injury. I would like to see Earl Thomas stay west.
Yes. I think I know where you're going with this.
Go a little south.
Red gold. Red gold.
A little red gold, maybe white in the cleats because you like the white look.
I do like. I'm trying to get Kyle Shanahan to pass that along to Jed York.
Team up with Richard Sherman.
Right.
Once again.
Right.
And you get to play your former team twice. Same thing with the Dolphins and Patriots.
Right.
Earl Thomas and the 49ers match made in heaven.
I like that. I'm with you all the way there.
You do like that one?
Yeah, I really do. I mean, I think, first of all, that's not crazy. First of all, even just from the football X's and O's standpoint, there's a need at that position for the San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco 49ers run the Seattle defense schematically, so it makes sense there. Plus, I know what you're saying, too. I mean, we like watching rivalries, and you like to see a little hatred between teams who are competing against each other.
Makes it so much better.
It would make it so much better. But him and Richard Sherman, Earl and Richard against Seattle twice a year, like we were just talking about with Trey Flowers, and they're going to be disgruntled that they weren't paid or respected enough in the renegotiation period. That, to me, makes great rivalries. Great rivalries have to have something personal that works there.
Yeah.
That's why, like, the first time the Seattle Seahawks and the 49ers, it was like Pete Carroll and Jim Harbaugh, and they had the little beef in college that spilled over. But I'm with you there, and I think it makes actually a lot of sense for the 49ers to be in that market anyways.
Yeah, Richard Sherman is openly recruiting Earl Thomas to come over there. And it almost is crazier than even a WWE thing. This whole thing between the year. I mean, Richard Sherman was public enemy number one for the 49ers for so long. And then now he's a 49er. And now you could get Earl Thomas as well. I mean, it's almost like you couldn't write a script as convoluted as that, but it makes for some interesting
It does. It makes it. The NFC West, like, for me, is like amazing right now. I mean, between the three young whippersnappers at coach, right? You got like the all GQ NFC West. It's Shanahan, Kingsbury, and McVay.
You need to be attractive.
With the old wise man and Pete Carroll. So it is cool that way. Okay, another one I'd like to see. I mean, let's be serious. Le'Veon Bell, probably like the top free agent on the market of everything he can do on the offensive side of the football. You know, running back / slot receiver, dependable. You know, he's had one injury in his career. There's two teams that jump out to me where I would love to see. And of course, again, I think it has to play into the rivalry thing a little bit. Like, I was gonna say Ravens because I was like, yeah, that'd be cool if he went to Baltimore with the Lamar Jackson. But I think the one I really want to see even more than that, I want him to stay in state. I want him to go to Philadelphia. I think that'd even be cooler to see that too. You know, Pittsburgh having to deal with somebody in state, having to hear about Le'Veon Bell going off for the team that's across the state in the other major city. And Le'Veon Bell, I think, would really fit within that offense. The Philadelphia Eagles need somebody they can rely on at the running back position. I mean, last year was running back musical chairs for them. Injuries, people not performing as well. They were constantly trying to find the right match there. They have a pretty good offensive line there. You want to talk about taking hits off of Carson Wentz and making life easier on him?
Yeah,
a guy like Le'Veon Bell. Right, and we know like a Doug Peterson who comes from the Andy Reid School of Coaching, that they've had guys like this already with LaShawn McCoy back in the day in Philadelphia. I think they'd really know how to use a Le'Veon Bell. That would be one that I would love to see really happen and go down.
That makes sense.
The rumors are pointing that is a possibility. That is
Philly?
The Philly is in the short list of the conversation of teams that are interested in Le'Veon Bell.
I like, just a personal standpoint, I think it would be super cool if he went to the Chiefs. I want to put every playmaker
with Patrick Mahomes.
Every playmaker in the NFL, I want to put him on the Chiefs.
Yeah, right, I hear that.
Just watch them go.
I hear that. I mean, if I wanted to get personal, I would want this guy to get him too, because they could use a running back.
Aaron Rodgers.
You're the greatest I've ever seen.
They'd make a pretty good duo. You do think maybe a younger quarterback that could need that, you could, there are a lot of young quarterbacks out there. Four drafted in the top 10 last year that could use that safety net of a Le'Veon Bell that you can throw two-hand the ball.
That's why you hear like the Jets in the conversation in reality too with Le'Veon Bell. I mean, again, the ground game, a guy that can be, I'm Sam Darnold, nobody's open downfield. I can always feel good about throwing it underneath the Le'Veon Bell, and he'll keep us in good situations. That makes sense.
I'm still worried about Lev Bell, though. I mean, 2017 wasn't great for Lev Bell. Then you sit out a whole 2018.
Yeah, I hear you.
Then you got to pay $50 million for him, or more than that.
It's never easy playing, and like I've made this point before, like to Mike Florio on PFT too. Like, you can be in shape all you want. Being in football shape is a whole nother animal altogether, because hey, you can go there and have a trainer pushing you and do all that. But until, you're on the field and, it's hurry up offense. And, gosh, I got to run the ball between the tackles and get crushed and then get back in the huddle real quick and get back to the line of scrimmage. Now I got to run a pass route. And then it's back into the huddle. And, okay, now I got to pass protect. I mean, there is nothing that can get you ready for that working out. You can try as hard as you want, but football is one of those sports where you truly need to play it and be out there to get your body ready for it. Exactly right.
Game speed.
Right.
I got a quick one for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Landon Collins.
Okay.
And Chris Simms. I want to get you guys together.
You're a jerk.
You're a jerk. Get you on better terms.
Right.
Because I heard that you placed Landon Collins at the 20th best safety?
I said that you could make the argument that he's in that conversation.
And you did.
I did. Well, listen, again, and this is where my life becomes hard, because I've been around Landon Collins. I really like him, the person. And I like him when he's at his best, like at football. 2016, he was in the conversation for NFL Defensive Player of the Year. He was off the charts good, but 2017 was really not good. 2018 last year was just like it wasn't great. In a day and age where safeties are asked to cover and be so much a part of the pass game and speed and things like that, that's where Landon Collins hurts a little bit, in my opinion. So, hey, my big thing is, hey, maybe I know I said something like he's like, arguably the 18th best safety in football. There's 64 safeties, first of all, in football, so let's keep that in mind.
You're still above average.
Yes, it's just way above average. And I understand that a lot of that is, subject to conversation. But the one thing I know is not subject to conversation is he's not a huge difference maker the last 2 years on the football field.
Right.
He is not in the upper echelons of safeties. That is where I will certainly draw a line and argue with whoever wants to argue with me. He is not in the class of Devin McCourty, Derwin James, Tony Jefferson, Jamal Adams, LaMarcus Joyner, Earl Thomas, Harrison Smith, just to name a few right there. I think that would go, people go, ooh, yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. So that's why I think the Giants didn't franchise tag him. I think that's why you're seeing teams. And I will be interested to see where he lands and gets paid altogether when all said and done.
Just 25.
Thanks for bringing that up, though. Thank you very much.
I'm trying to get you guys back together and back on good terms once again. It is interesting, and I was reading something on Pro Football Focus about Landon Collins, is that they feel like there's an opportunity for him to be more elite as a linebacker, playing more closer to the line of scrimmage.
I think that's exactly probably part of the problem, too. Exactly right. Or part of the problem, or how to use them. The Giants, they use him at the line of scrimmage a whole lot, but still more in a safety role. But yes, people Landon Collins' size this day and age is different than like when we grew up, where middle linebackers were 6'2" and 250 or 245 pounds. It's more of a speed game about that now. I mean, look at the Los Angeles Rams. Mark Barron was their one middle linebacker who was 225 pounds. Corey Littleton was their other middle linebacker who was like 222 pounds. So it was predicated on speed and their ability to be able to fly around the field. Hey, Ryan Shazier, he was one of the best linebackers in football before the neck injury. It was all about speed for him. He had to eat like extra food to be 222 pounds.
Weight gain.
So it's a different mold of player.
Yeah,
right. It's a different mold of player. They're looking at that position than what maybe we traditionally grew up in that era.
That is crazy. I mean, I'm like 185. I could have played offensive tackle in like the 1970s.
Oh, I get this. I get this all the time with like people like, oh, I met so and so. I met Telvin Smith on the Jaguars. He's not that big. Yeah, okay, I know. Yeah, Telvin Smith is like 6'2", 220 pounds. But it's not about the size. It's about the ability to apply force. And that's where I want to go like, yeah, okay, that's cool. I know you think you look at him and you go, I can match up with that guy. But, if you went in the weight room and then you saw a guy like Telvin Smith move weights, you'd go, oh, wait, I get it now. Whoa. Yeah. He can squat 500 pounds and he's 220 pounds and he can bench 450. And that's, people forget that aspect of it too. It's about the ability to apply force.
Yeah.
Is what makes those guys
Until
special.
you're on the field in pads with them and they're applying force on you. Then you remember.
Or you're on the, this is why I don't play football.
It's more than just about height and weight.
Exactly right.
It was that force and now I can't think straight.
Yeah. You got any more? Oh, where's my turn?
You go.
All right. This is probably be my last one, too.
Okay.
C.J. Mosley, right? C.J. Mosley, one of the better middle linebackers in all of football. Baltimore Ravens. Again, probably a guy that's asking for a little too much money in general, but a guy that can play all three downs. He's a little bit more along the traditional lines of linebackers like we've talked about. He's 238, 240 pounds, went to Alabama, was in a 3-4 scheme there. Baltimore likes their middle linebackers a little bigger. But you know who needs a middle linebacker really bad?
Who's that?
The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh.
And that is one I would love to see happen. Pittsburgh's not in the greatest, they're not in the greatest shape as far as the cap is concerned. But, man, can you imagine that? I mean, here we go, C.J. Mosley, the rivalry between the Steelers and Ravens, as is already. They're both going to be fighting for playoff spots once again this year. I'd be shocked if they're not.
Right.
And if C.J. Mosley's on the other side, again, there is a true need for that for the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Can they find enough cash and figure out how to make that work? It would be awesome. But either way, again, it would add to the rivalry, which I would love to see in general.
I've always said, sports is better when you hate your opponent.
Oh, that's why.
It's way better. The evil empire, anything, When you hate them, sports is way better.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that's what we miss this day and age, as compared to like the 80s and 90s when there was no salary cap. I always say, like, those were the greatest times in football, the rivalries there, because it was personal.
Yeah.
You know, their teams weren't changing. My dad had to play Joe Montana every year for 6 years straight.
And he hated Joe Montana.
Well, and he hated the whole damn team.
He did?
Well, yeah, because they were winning Super Bowls, and the Giants were only winning one every now and then or whatever. So it was personal. You know, when my father played the Philadelphia Eagles in the 80s, every year it was Reggie White and Jerome Brown and Clyde Simmons.
I can see not liking Reggie White as a quarterback.
Yeah. But I do think that's what we miss this day and age with free agency and the salary cap and everything. Teams, players, they're moving around so much that it's not as much personal as it was back in the old days, and that's what's different about it.
I got one more.
Yeah?
Rodger Saffold, the guard. Jets rumored in on him.
Yeah, okay.
If I was to be a matchmaker,
Yeah.
get him back together with his ex.
Oh, that's so
Back with
cute
the
of
Rams.
you. Oh,
Yep.
that's
Get 'em
so
back
cute.
together.
You want to see them reunite.
Great
One more
offensive
time.
line, Super Bowl team. You got a good thing going. You're protecting a young quarterback. Keep it going.
Yeah, I get that, and they have some other issues on their offensive line. I mean, as we saw during the end of the season, it wasn't perfect, and Saffold is certainly, if not their best offensive lineman altogether. So that's cute of you, though, to just keep them together. That's very nice.
That was cute.
Yeah.
That was a cute talk.
Good job.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.